Elon Musk has championed himself as someone who wants transparency on the Epstein files. We watched that clip many times of him sitting with Tucker and going, do you know why all these billionaires want Kamala to win? Because if Trump wins, the Epstein client list will be revealed. And Tucker's like, oh yeah. And Elon's like, yeah, that's what I want. Elon then, of course, said that Trump's not releasing the Epstein files because he's in them. That turned out to be true. And when Elon was initially mentioned, he claimed, Epstein tried to get me to go to his island and I refused. Well, now Elon has been caught in a ginormous lie. And while I'm very sensitive about not overstating what we do know, and knowing that plenty of people could have associated, still insane given what we referenced before, which is Epstein, before all these emails back in 2008, was already a sex offender, a child sex abuser, but could have associated without participating in the abuse. But I also think it's important to say, if so many of these people like Lutnick and now Elon, and definitely Trump, lie about when they stopped associating with Epstein, lie about whether or not they ever went to or wanted to go to the island, then that does force you to ask, why are they lying? What is the purpose of this lie if they're completely not feeling guilt about anything? So after he claimed publicly, Epstein tried to get me to go to his island and I refused. That's what Elon said. He then shows up in an email in 2012 where he says, probably just to Lula and me, what day or night will be the wildest party on your island? So then there's other ones of him going back and forth with Epstein. Just the quickest break from the video to request that you click the subscribe button. As you know, that's an important way to boost the message that we deliver to a larger audience, which is very important. Helps us out, but it's completely free on your end. Just by clicking that subscribe button, you help support our work. Epstein says, any plans for New York? The opening of the General Assembly has many interesting people coming to my house. Elon said, I run and lead product design engineering for two complicated companies. Moreover, SpaceX is about to launch what is arguably the most advanced rocket in history. Flying to New York to see UN diplomats do nothing would be unwise use of my time. And it seems that Epstein was speaking kind of in vague terminology, and Epstein and Elon didn't get it. And so Epstein responds, do you think I am retarded? Just kidding. There is no one over 25 and all very cute. So it seems like Elon took literally what Epstein was saying about the General Assembly, and Epstein was like, no, that's not what I wasn't saying hang out with. So he lied too. That is now so very, very obvious. One person said, given the new Elon mentions, like him being like, when's the wild, when can I go to that island, Jeff? Which he previously said he denied. Really? You were the one begging. And there's others that I showed you before. Makes this one a little more creepy. Do you remember when there was how an 18-year-old Audrey Morris being reported on, and Elon said 8 or above level hotness should get an exemption, and then he had to delete that because everyone was like, dude, she's 18 and you're talking about her hotness. But not everyone finds this obvious lie that Elon told when he clearly was requesting to go to the island, not turning it down. And maybe he never got to go, but that's not the same as what he said. You do have defenders like Ian Miles Chung, who said Elon Musk has had his pick of virtually every available woman on the planet. He wouldn't need a hookup from some weird, creepy weirdo who lives on an island. And Elon responded, yup. Yup. And this is one of the dumbest way to defend someone who you should be judging for reaching out to someone who was already convicted of pedophilia. And you're associating with them like that. That by itself is already very judgeable. But the craziest way people defend even abusers, rapists, is going, but that person's hot or that person's rich. They could get a girl easily. Why'd they rape? And it's like, if at this point in your life, Ian, you don't understand that that's not even close to a rational defense of someone, then you're insane. Because would that not work for any of the people involved in this story? They were all wealthy, powerful people. So while I'm not saying I know anything for certain about Elon, it is not a defense of a powerful, wealthy person to go, there's no way they could be an abuser or make bad choices about who they associate with, because they could have sex with whoever they want. Every girl wants to sleep with Elon. Because all the people involved in this story who we definitely know, and Epstein, for example, did horrific abuses, themselves were wealthy and well-connected and could probably go pick up someone in a normal adult consensual relationship. But the point is that that's not what they're going for. Then Elon Musk posted this, since he keeps getting brought up in these files: nobody has fought harder for the release of the Epstein files and prosecutions of those who abused children more than I did. Well, you did spend a bunch of money to get the guy who elected who was riddled all over those documents, who you probably knew would actually cover them up despite you saying the opposite. Like, how can you say you've done more to get transparency on Epstein and in general protect abused children than anyone when you spent more than anyone to get Epstein's bestie elected? How could that possibly mean you were the hardest fighter for this? And then, riddle me this, bub. You are doing more than anyone to try to get transparency and get justice. And after you said Trump was in the Epstein files, that's why he's not releasing them, you deleted that post and then are back to fundraising for him and Republicans. How? There's no way you believe what you're saying then. Okay, whatever. So that's a point I think biggest Mac said. Elon, this emotional manipulation will not work. You sponsored Trump's election. You deleted your tweet about him being in the Epstein files. You did all this with knowledge that he was in the files. To crown it all, you two were in contact with the same Epstein. You're only saying this because you got caught. You probably thought the files were never going to be released, as you were well aware of it. Become a blackmailing tool, and Trump was going to comply with everything to avoid the release. I may have misread that. But look at this. Elon Musk pours millions more into helping Republicans keep Congress. So you can't go from alluding to Trump being a pedophile in that original post whenever they had their big breakup, delete it, never take it back, though, which is the difference. He never went, oh, whoops. He's not in the Epstein files. He was in the Lepstein files. These were different files. I got them confused. That's a big mistake. He never took it back. He just deleted the post. And now you're back to supporting him. So actually, you are as much of an enabler of this cover up as anyone else. And this is kind of, in a way, heavily on you. Because I think a lot of calculations say if you didn't dump that amount of money and skew Twitter, Trump may not have won. You may have tipped it over the edge for him. You claimed that once, that he only won because of you. And so all of what we've seen on this topic since then is a little bit on you. And some people will go, and I just want to address this one more time before we get out of this topic, then we're done with Epstein-related things for today. But we have a lot more of other stuff. But that was a very disjointed statement. But now I forgot my point, which is brilliant. Oh, a lot of people will go, okay, but was Biden not covering it up? Because we didn't see this stuff come out during him. Remember that the DOJ did not shut down the investigation of associated Epstein people and topics. Like, they did not close down the investigation into Prince Andrew, into other accomplices, until the Trump administration. So while there was an active investigation going on, an active litigation, it does make sense that things wouldn't have been revealed, because that could botch future cases and prosecutions. The Trump administration came in and pretty quickly went, oh, no, it's over. Sorry, nothing. Nope, nothing. So that actually does answer that question. But do I think some patriot should have leaked a lot of this stuff about Trump before the election to prevent him from winning? Yeah. Do I think it's kind of crazy that someone oh, because, you know, if Biden officials get asked about why we didn't hear about this stuff, they'll go, well, we respected the independence of the DOJ. So we weren't going to go in, you know, Merrick Garland wasn't going to see something damning about Trump, hand it over to the Biden team to be leaked or leak it himself. And he's thinking, hey, the procedure is these investigations are still ongoing, and so we can't release things to the public. In a world like what the one that we're in now, is that idiotic to go that much by the books when the books are being shit on? We don't got any books anymore. We don't even got a Kindle. Oh, I don't know. No, that's ridiculous to go by the books that much when they're being set on fire. It's crazy. Merrick Garland should have been like, hey, bring the Epstein files to me. Let me see some stuff. And then been like, oh, Control F Trump. Right? Command F Trump. Whatever one of it is. Searching for Trump. Leak. That's what they should have done. Yes.